I did.
Hey everyone, it's 3 o'clock here on Sunday, the 10th of September. We're doing a pre-betting build-up here for the box game, but in what must be one of the longest games of rugby I've ever seen in my life, we've got Japan up against Chile. We're in the dying moments, and both Oracle and myself are hanging on to a handicap bet by an absolute thread. Japan on the attack on the 5-meter line. Oracle, this is tense stuff. Been some great play by Chile, but on the other hand, some diabolical stuff from them.
How's it, Brent? I'll tell you in about 5 minutes when my stream catches up to your live TV.
It's the only thing with
streaming. I'll tell you what,
you.
DSTV have sold us down the river here. They give you a stream for 200 Rand less. Otherwise, they hold you to ransom on a 2,000 Rand decoder. So, for 4 minutes, you can buy 4 minutes, and sometimes it's as low as 2 minutes. But I think it's disgusting. They've got to get this far faster, because even on the racing, if you watch Gallop TV and you watch DSTV Stream, Gallop TV is ahead of DSTV Stream. So I can't understand why DSTV are slowing down the stream. It's almost like they're trying to seriously force us to buy decoders. And I think that's absolute rubbish. The world is going to streaming. They should speed it up. Anyway, yes, I took the plus here on Chile. And, I thought they'd I'm not surprised by the result that it's around about 20 at the moment, or 23 for that matter. Japan gave me nothing to suggest the minus was anything to go for before this. But last night's game was horrific. Great kicking by Ford, and England just played with what they had. And I think Argentina, from 3 minutes into the game, thought they'd already won the game, and they played like 8-year-olds chucking a ball around, not knowing they were headless chickens. They weren't talking to each other. And I honestly thought when they went into the half time that they'd get a proper speaking to, and they'd come out properly. And I actually went to bed 8 minutes into the second half. I didn't even watch the rest of the game.
Yeah, no. I was very disappointed in Argentina. We welcome Couch Critic now. Couch, you also got one eye on the end of the Chile game. I've got the plus 25, and Japan on the attack with a scrum on the 5-meter line. It's nightmare stuff.
It's not ideal, but I must say, Brent, the one thing, and I actually got caught out now. I took a little nibble on the minus on the Japs, because I feel the smaller teams, the wheels just come off a little bit at the end there. I think they just don't have it in their legs to go the extra yard. So I think we saw in the Namibia game, and we saw in the other game, like the last few minutes, they just pull away.
Excellent. Sorry, Couch, I'm so tense on this handicap here. They're going to go upstairs now. But just welcoming Shane. The king is back. Oracle, you knew, though, that Shane is probably your biggest fan in the world. A lot bigger than your wife, I can tell you.
He is. How's it, Shane? I'm back.
And Monsieur Arteta pointing out no one's wearing a Bok jersey. But let's get into the Bok game now.
It's freezing. I'm going to put my Bok jersey on later. It's freezing today. It's been raining hard. His wind's been blowing. It's been very cold today.
How about that? Screwed in the last minute, guys. Sorry, I'm going to be a bit grumpy for the duration of the show.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, not surprised.
Oh, geez, bloody Chile. Anyway, okay, boys, let's start focusing on the South Africa game. Couch, I'm going to go to you first of all. You've been writing articles for us. I must say they're proving hell of a popular. And the nice thing is that Boyle's also boosting some of your prices. So you've got your daily dabble, which you take. I know the first leg already came in. I'm not sure what you had on this one. But also some
this
price
was
scorers.
The first leg.
Good stuff, that, mate. So how's the punting World Cup been going for you so far?
Cheers, thanks. Yeah, Brent, as Gavin says, this was the first leg, but it was the halftime, so that one's in the bag. And then unfortunately, it's going to be a bit of a sweat because it's on the Scots on an alternative plus. So that's not ideal when you're a Springbok, but I suppose I've got my bases covered. I've got to use my head. And yeah, going into just on the World Cup, Brent, it's Argentina bets in the bin. I'm devastated. It was a shocker. That and your good old Aussie kicker was also one to throw Chuck straight into the waste bin. So that was disappointing.
Yes. The Arthur Gordon, yes, he doesn't even kick now.
Yeah, that was a shocker. But the RGs now pull out the gate, and I mean that was, as Gavin said, that was just a shocking performance. I think it was on a plate for them to win, and then to have it 14 men as well. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better, and they absolutely beat the bed there. So that was poor form, so not a great start in terms of the outrights and my long-term punts. And yeah, also some of the guys, I mean, I had Hansen, and even in their fantasy teams, you had some Island guys, and bloody Omani goes and scores a couple instead of the wingers. So that was definitely a bit crazy. I'm sure Gavin is fine smiling there if he's trying to score a bet, because no one's close at the moment, I reckon.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I must say, I got a bet on Ramos, the Frenchman, as well. But yeah, certainly the Australian tactics surprised me there. Having said that, worked out pretty well for Australia. They looked pretty good in that one. But gents, let's get on to the Bok game now. I mean, of course, this is probably the biggest game of the World Cup so far in terms of importance. I mean, France, New Zealand, the loser probably still goes through to the quarterfinals. The loser of this game is highly unlikely to go through to the quarterfinals. And Gavin, I think we still got a handicap there of about 11 points and a total points line in the region of 47. What are your views on this one?
Well, I think every time South Africa plays Scotland, it's been under 50. So 47 is priced up about right. I don't really have a view there. I just think that the way South Africa is playing with their 7-1, as you've called your Super Brew pool, the same. I think South Africa are going to score a lot more. I think the South African minus is going to arrive quite comfortably today. I don't think Scotland's ready for this onslaught of South Africa. I'll be very surprised if the Scotland plus arrives here. Honestly, I think this is South Africa by more than 20, possibly more than 25. I don't see Scotland scoring much, so it could be something like 30-10 or 35-10 or 35-8. That's the sort of scoreline I'm thinking here. Again, and I'm going to say what I said on Friday night. If you want to go overs here, go over on South Africa, not on the match. And if you want to go under on the match, rather go under on Scotland.
Right, I must say, when I wrote the good for the game preview, I went under 5.5 tries. I'm seeing South Africa get up here. I think it's going to be a pretty close game. I'm not sure on the handicap, but I think it could be somewhere around 6 to 8 points. But for me, I like the under 5.5 tries. I know I'm here in Teta in the live chat. He likes box over 3.5. But even if that arrives, I could still see like a 4-1 try scoreline. What's your view on that, Couch? I mean, I think I see us going, and I see both teams going for penalties early, and I'm hoping that the tries maybe only come late in the game. What is your view? Do you like that under 5.5?
Yeah, I love it, Brent. I think we're going to be back to our normal strategy. Yeah, I think you can put the Wales game away, and even the New Zealand game. It's going to be the South African tactic. We're gonna bore them to death. I mean, we know Scotland. You want to keep it as tight as possible. You want to keep it in the forwards. We're gonna maul it. We're gonna try and win scrum penalties. So I really see them turning the screw. Yeah, actually, Sia is quite positive though, Brent. That's the only problem, is you might get a scrum penalty early on and he's going to be kicking for the corner, and that's obviously when my try scorer is hopefully going to come in. But he does like that one early on and get ahead. But after that, hopefully Marnie's got his boot and we can just keep slotting them over. But I think people have got it a little bit wrong here. You know, Scotland have been very good in the Six Nations, and I don't think we respect that tournament enough. I think Scotland are real runners. I think they play a decent brand of rugby at the moment, and I think it's going to be Yuan's 1-12 to me is the way to go. I also don't see the box slipping up ultimately, but I don't see a big score at all. I think the 1-12 is a nice one, and I think Scotland keep it respectable. Even if we get off to a solid start, they might scratch a late one if they get Finn Russell going and score a late try. So I think the 1-12 is really a nice play, because like you, Brent, the handicap's just a little bit iffish for me.
Yeah, it does look that way to me. But take us through so first of all, just to mention, we've got an article up at the moment on Good for the Game. We got your preview up. You can log on to that. I put a link down below this in the description box, at least I hope I did. And the link should be there. People can click on that. They can have a look at your bets and then click through. Guys, we'd like your support. Click through. We just welcome Boyle Sports on board as partners. So click through, support us, use the banners, use the links, and go and open an account. But Couch, take us through your try scorers for the balance of today's games, or for the South Africa game. I haven't had a chance to look at them yet.
Yeah, just quickly on the Fiji, maybe the one after that is Frank Lamani playing at scrum off for Fiji to get the first try for Fiji. Obviously, Munt's not playing at 10. I think your 9 will take a little bit more control. That's a speculative play. I mean, it's not as strategic as the scrum as the hooker one where you think you're going to go for more. So that's just a little bit of value. I can't remember the price now, Gav. I think about 28-1, something like that is what we got on the booster there. So it's a nice tasty price on that one.
Yeah, I was going to ask you why you've picked a scrum half, because in all my time, I don't think I've taken first try scorers before. I don't think I've ever selected a scrum half. It's almost like they've got to be that's lottery stuff. I mean, that's really lucky stuff. Your Malcolm Marx one is a runner, obviously, but scrum off. I couldn't touch a scrum off at any price. I couldn't touch it.
I think just the thought process there, as I said, I think the 10 isn't going to be missing, so 9's going to take a lot more responsibility. And then with the Fijian outside runners, they're good at taking the gaps and really breaking the line. And I love a scrum off as a support line runner. So he's often the guy on the shoulder on the right hand side or the left hand side. So to me, I'm hoping for that little support runner try. I think that's probably my favorite option. But even a little snipe around the side, he's a 9 who likes hands on the ball. So at that price you can't get hurt. But Mark's definitely
can't get hurt. Correct.
He's the man at 11 to 1. I mean, that's a tasty price. It's better than you'll get anywhere. And we know the Springboks love a rolling maul. And as I said, especially in this game, it's going to be tactics of really strong arming the Scots. So expect us to go for that more often. I think the only one, Gav, I did say it before the tournament, is hookers do tend to score a little bit less, in my view, actually, of late, because people do a few alternative tricks at the lineout. We'll do the wrap around with Sia Kulisi, so there's the option that he could go himself instead of passing to Marks, and then we often try and transition the ball a little bit as well, and you can even get a kits off dropping over, so it creates a bit of a bugger up on your hookers. But for this one, I think we'll keep it tidy, keep it simple, and get it to Marks in the boot.
Yeah, talking about the Fiji game, I think I've wrapped up on South Africa. I'm going to say I'm hearing a lot of people liking Wales. I can't see where they're getting that from. I think the Fiji on the board here at 16 to 10, and I did get as much as 2 to 1 a little bit earlier on Friday. I think Fiji on the board here is the right way to go. I've taken a little bit of plus, but my main bet is Fiji to win the game. I'll be shouting your scrum half to score first.
Just if I can jump in there, it's amazing how your mood changes. I was in such a good mood coming into the show, and then that last minute try, I'm all grumpy. I see Henrik's grumpy in the live chat there as well. My son had on the Super Brew pool, and Gav, your son and my son are playing in the same pool, and that try I think got your son the margin point.
Yeah, I just heard him shouting it there.
Yeah, my son was on the 24 points. He was exactly getting it right. He didn't want to shout because I was on the show. He stormed out the room. So it's amazing how that Super Brews also got us going there. But quickly then, Couch, from your side, anything else on the South Africa game before you move to the Wales game? We've got Gav's thoughts on that, but anything else you like on South Africa?
No, as I said, I added a extra plus into a multi, and then it goes into the Fijian games. I'm with Gavin there. I know Brent's pretty impressed by Wales, or he thinks they'll just outmuscle them.
He needs to listen to Monsieur Arteta there in the live chat.
Yeah, these backing Wales weren't watching Fiji play Twickenham. So, guys, Jamison, who's obviously Welsh in the Good for the Game forum, he likes Wales. So I've got to take that with a bit of a pinch of salt. But I tell you what it is for me. I look at a lot of these teams that have come in with high expectations, and I think that we're overestimating the teams that, let's call it the non-Six Nations teams, and that the Georgias, all of that sort of stuff. To me, they're probably not as good as we like. Everyone wants them to do well. It's a lovely fairy tale. The reality is that the more professional outfits, and Fiji are a lot more professional than they used to be, the more professional outfits are still better equipped come those final 20 minutes of the game. And I do think that I watched that fly half play. I don't know many of the Fijian players' names. I'm not a names type of guy generally, but I watched that fly half play of Fiji, and I thought he was absolutely superb. I think he's going to be a good loss. Then I've looked at this Welsh team. I like this Welsh team. I think they picked a good side. I don't mind North at centre. I think they've got good wingers, good fullback. I really do think that this Welsh team are big runners. I think this one's going to be close for a long period of time, but at the end of the day, I'm going to go here, Gav, for Wales -5.5 as it's my best bet of the day. Whether it arrives, because my other bets probably look like they're all going to lose, but my best bet of the day.
Brent, you've also got to remember that the only thing the Welsh know about heat is if the lady leaves the oven open in the kitchen. So, I mean, it's definitely going to suit Fiji, the weather as well. So your idea of the last 20, I actually think it could turn the other way. And the Fijians really making it loose and looking to run Wales off their feet at the end.
Quite possibly. Sounds like you've been listening to Joel Stransky's commentary. He has to mention it's hot every sentence. It's like, shit, we played rugby in 38 degrees at Loftus, so we got to worry about 30 degrees here in France. Now, come on, guys. This is Greta Thunberg bloody calling the shots there as far as I'm concerned. But now I take your point 100% there, Couch. Connor coming on and saying he's not going to be very popular with the guys. Yeah, come on, Scotland. But, yeah, I think, this is going to be just an absolutely cracking game. Gav, anything else you got to add then before we knock off?
No, I think what you said earlier about the fairy tale stuff, I think that these, what I've noticed in the pluses so far, yes, we had the Georgians arriving very late against Australia yesterday, but the rest of the pluses have all died in the last 20 minutes. So when the petrol hours come up, it's all been race over. So, if you are in a bet, my suggestion is you just cover up. If you're within the handicap at 60 minutes, it's time to go the other way, because how many times I've lost a bet this weekend on the last 20 minutes is scary. When I looked well in all of them except the Argentina one, obviously I'd lost a long way in the first half, and I left at 8 minutes into the second half and went home. Went to bed. Nothing else for today. I'm just excited for next week. I'll do a little bit more homework. But it's been a nice tournament so far. I've enjoyed everything really, except not getting them right. I'm just lucky. I say lucky. I won very nicely on Friday night, so still in the money, despite having some smaller losses. And yes, it was my biggest bet last night, but actually made quite a bit on golf in the women's tennis. So the weekend's still up. And
I think I was up for the weekend heading into the Chile game, but I'm now officially down for the World Cup. Unfortunately, not too bad, but I'm grumpy. I made a good start, and I'm pretty grumpy, I've got to say. Couch, you look like you might be off somewhere to watch the rugby.
No, I've got the family coming over, so I'm literally looking at my braai outside.
The in-laws are coming. He's dressed up.
Time to go light. My game's also going to have to be up to scratch, braaiing for the in-laws. So it's all about getting the meat done perfectly, getting it done in time, and then enjoying a bok game that hopefully my Scotland plus still arrives at the end.
Excellent. Well, I think we'll call it quits for there now, guys. Thanks for joining us on the Sunday afternoon. Apologies for the start of the show where I was shouting at the TV, but I was really bitter about that Chile stuff. And I do hope the game is all a bit quick. I mean, that was a 2-hour game. It was absolutely ridiculous. Oracle, enjoy the rugby, mate. And same to you, Couch. Thanks to the guys in the live chat. Look out for more shows coming during the week.
Yes,
I do want to mention one thing. I did a quick preview of the South Africa-Scotland game. It is on the YouTube channel. I may or may not have put a link below the description box. We got a 200 Rand betting voucher to give away there. All you got to do is go on. You'll see other people are doing it already. Just predict the winner, the margin, and the points, and that'll be given away after the Springbok v Scotland game. Guys, thanks very much. Till the next time. See you, and good punting.
Cheers.